Hello and welcome to Love Talk. My name is Neela and today's topic is about love or fantasy. Let me introduce you the owner of the show, Master of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, Certified Master Hypnotherapist, owner and Chief Operation Officer of Embrace Growth, Mr. Gregory Morgan. Hello to you, sir.
Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction, and thank you for watching the show. So we're going to talk about and distinguish the difference between love and fantasy. And most of us use the word love perhaps every day. And if you're not, then, or you don't hear that word very often, then too bad. You need to get some new people to hang out with. Because I propose that you surround yourself with people who you love and who love you. And yet, this word, which is commonly used in so many love songs and poems and movies, is very little understood. We all have a sense about what love is. We have feelings that we call love. We have thoughts that we associate with love, but I don't think anybody has ever adequately described or distinguished what love is. And I don't propose to do that myself, even on this show. However, I believe that something as vast as love, if you could say what it is, then perhaps that's not it. Some things are best described by saying what they are not. Okay? So very much of what we call love, I propose, is a fantasy. And so one of the ways that we can begin to distinguish love is by distinguishing those things which it is not, and then calling forth the presence of something which we could perhaps all agree on, that when that's present, we could agree that love is there. Okay? Without having to describe it. Okay? The best you could do is describe the feelings or the experience of love. And so we, I believe, could all agree on certain experiences that we will then say, okay, well, let's call that love. Okay?
Yeah.
So, first of all, I believe that love is a verb. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's something that you do. It's an action you take, and or a series of actions that you would take. So when you love someone, would you necessarily always have those feelings of love? Like every day, all the time?
No, it's like somewhere there, like
yeah,
it's safe there, but
yeah,
sometimes you feel that it comes up.
Yeah,
But
so, yeah, go ahead.
But sometimes you're going through life and then you don't feel that rush of love and excitement, but it's somewhere there.
You know it's in there.
Yes.
Like you believe it,
Yes.
you know it. So the word belief is an important word here, okay? Because we'll get back to that in a minute. A lot of what we experience in life is a result of our beliefs. Now, a belief is nothing more than something that you are convinced is true.
No?
Yeah. A belief is something that you are convinced, is true.
Okay, yeah.
So for a believer, there's no belief. It's just the truth.
Yes.
To the believer, the belief is the truth.
Your reality.
Yeah. To them, it's true.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and they're convinced of that. And they'll argue for that and maybe even fight or die for that, but they'll give their life to this belief. And so I'm going to say a belief is something that you're as convinced is true, and that belief gives you certain actions that are in line with that belief. If you believe that someone loves you, you would act appropriately, perhaps.
Yes.
You would act your actions would be formed by that belief.
Yes.
If you believe that somebody does not love you,
Yes.
even if they did, it wouldn't matter, right?
Yes.
In other words, if I'm walking in the dark and I step on a rope and I believe it's a snake, my body will act appropriately. There's no snake there, just a rope.
Yeah.
But you have the same physiological, mental, emotional reaction as if it was
Snake,
true.
yeah.
Okay, we talked about the bear in the bush thing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You are responding always to what you believe is true. Okay? Now I want you to hold that in your mind there for a second, because I'm going to move on building on that little building block. We're always responding to what we believe is true, and so in order to distinguish that from reality, okay, we need to begin to look at how we organize our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions, and our beliefs tend to come from different parts of our brain and different parts of our experience, and yet we don't question them. So we don't necessarily question our beliefs. In fact, in certain religions, if you question the beliefs, you could get in big trouble, right? You're not supposed to question the beliefs that have been handed down to you in some places, right?
Yep.
And yet, so a belief is something that you can't actually know. You don't know it. It's not. It doesn't list. So let's talk about some things that you know. Do you know your name?
Yes.
Okay. Now you know that, right?
Yeah.
And you can produce evidence for it. It's on your driver's license, your birth certificate. Your mother told you that's your name. Everybody calls you that. So you have a lot of evidence for knowing your name, right? So we'll go with that's your name,
Yes.
right? What are some things that you don't know?
That someone loves me.
Okay. Some other things that maybe are more common, but that's true too. Okay, that's a perfectly good example. But like, do you know quantum physics?
Not complete. No.
No. Do you know how to speak Chinese?
Oh no.
Okay. So there's some things you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know the the velocity of a jet?
No.
Right. Stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
There's things that we just don't know. Now, it's important to know that those things are knowable. So there's some things that we don't know that are knowable. Somebody knows them, or you could find them out. So there is the knowable universe, let's say, all that stuff that is knowable, and even if you don't know it, somebody could know it. Then outside of that circle or that universe of things that are knowable, could we say that there are some things that are just unknowable?
Yes.
There's some things that you just cannot, like nobody actually knows what an atom looks like, and yet it is taught in every school, throughout everywhere, that the world is made up of atoms, but no one's actually ever seen one.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So we don't actually know what one looks like, which is kind of interesting because it points to the fact that this universe, this physical stuff that we live in, is made up of stuff that we don't actually know. We can't even prove that it's there. We can show that it's there, right?
Yes.
But we have to believe that it's there. There's a very fine line between knowing and belief. We know it's there because there's evidence of it, right? But we don't know it.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
I point in this direction because when it comes to love, right? And I've said in the beginning of the show, no one's ever actually defined it truly. We can only sort of know that it's there by the evidence. We can't see the wind, but we know the wind is there because we see the trees blowing and we can feel it, right? But we can't know it, right? They can even measure it. So when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, so much of what we bring to the relationship is the past, the things that we've seen in movies, the things our mother told us, the things that we felt in grade school, the things that we've heard in poems, love songs, feelings that we've had when we were having hormonal rushes, from seeing or hearing something that made us feel feelings that we didn't understand, and we said, must be love. You know, there's even, I'm sure, a song somewhere called It Must Be Love, right? So we bring all of these love beliefs to the table.
Yes.
And then guess who we're in love with? Somebody who's bringing all their beliefs to the table. So we're bringing to each other what we believe to be love and what we feel is true, and in some cases we have that we're convinced or certain that it is true. Okay, so the name of the show is Love or Fantasy, right? The word romance. The word romance originated with the word roman or Roman, which was how they knew history was from the tales of the Romans, right? The written language and the tales brought down. So a Roman meant a story or a tale. Not necessarily true, just what somebody said. And romance, which came about, really the idea of romantic love came about in around the 15th century with the traveling troubadours, poets, and singers who brought forth the idea of a romantic love. Now, the original romantic love was chaste. It was one's love for some unreachable or unattainable person, you know, a secret thing, like something held in the heart, a feeling that one couldn't quite have or embrace. So that was the origins of this thought form called, and this belief, and this, it was sort of an explanation for a bunch of unexplained feelings that one might have, most of which were forbidden, right? Because in order to have that kind of romantic love, one had to project upon the other a sort of idealization. So a man would project upon some woman that she was the ideal woman. The way she walked, the way she talked, her breath, everything about her was ideal, right? And an ideal, by definition, is unattainable. If you've attained an ideal, then you've just reached a goal, right? Ideals are always beyond your reach. So one must idealize the beloved. And they must be the manifestation, the perfect image of what, though?
Something that we have in mind.
Something inside of us. This is beginning to point to something. Because I believe that what we idealize in another, what we see in another, what we are reaching for, when we're reaching towards that ideal love, is a sense of, I always on the show avoid using the word God, because then people make it sound like it's a religious thing, but I often search for other words which devoids it of a certain feeling that I would like for you to be able to get. It is a divine, perfected essence inside each of us, something ideal, something that is sacred and beautiful and filled with joy and perfection, that resides inside each of us, that we are in fact perhaps a manifestation of a universal form of that is expressing itself as you, as me, as each of us being a divine spark or an alive expression of something, some form of perfection that is universal. And we long deeply to realize that. And by realize, I use the word to make real, to make manifest. To realize something is to make it manifest in the world, and to know it and to have it, to experience it fully. So we have this deep drive to express this fully in the world. And because lack the ability to see that in ourselves, we see it manifested onto another. We project it onto another. Someone else walks across our screen and they move right and they smell right and they look right and it feels right, and you can see the perfection over there, and you project this feeling. It gives you a feeling of awe. And so we say things like, you make me feel.
Yeah.
You make me feel,
Yes.
right? Now,
Yes.
who's having the feeling? We're having, the individual's having the feeling. Did anybody make you have it?
No.
Of course not. But something triggered that in you.
Yes.
Now, if it wasn't already in you, could you have had it?
No.
So it was already there.
Yes.
So this feeling was already there.
Yes.
This wonderful feeling. And what we see and what we love in another is that perfection that is already there within us.
Yes.
And that we project outward into the world looking for a screen to project it back. Now, if I took a projector, like a film projector, a video projector, a slide projector, and projected it into empty space, would I see anything?
No.
But if I put a screen in front of it, everything that's inside the projector comes back.
Yes.
Yes, the screen is a reflection back of something that is already there. I'm using these metaphors so that people can begin to have a visual image of how we actually create love from ourselves and project it onto others and then have it reflected back. Now, what's great is when somebody's doing that with you too, right?
Yes.
They're projecting their love onto you, you're projecting your love onto them, and it's like, right? We got a match here.
Yeah.
Then people get married.
Yes.
Right? They have sex, they get married, they have babies, and then, wait a minute, what happened to that thing?
Projection.
whoa. Right? What happened? We have to pay the bills, we have to, fix the car, we have to cook some food, we have to change some diapers, we have to go to work, right? So all of those things, so the fantasy that we called love dissolves into where?
Everyday life.
Yeah, it just dissolves. It goes back into, it was always there and it still is. Yet it is an art to continue to have this fantasy, right? So maintaining a romantic relationship requires a sort of self-hypnosis, a sort of wanting to believe and believing and knowing that this perfection exists in the other, and being willing to participate in that, okay? So I'm going to back off a little bit from that for a minute, because I've written a bunch of notes about this, and we open our hearts to each other without realizing that what we're really in love with already is within us. And that doesn't mean it's not within them. Of course it is. But then their weaknesses begin to show, their flaws begin to show, our flaws begin to show. And this is the point of this whole conversation. It is at that point that love must be a verb. At that point, you would behave lovingly, you would care for lovingly, you would project love onto, you would choose to see through the eyes of love your flawed, weak, messy beloved. You would choose that. That would be an action that you would take. You would say the words of love, and here's where most people fall down, as far as I can tell, and me included. That takes some discipline, that takes some rigor, that takes being willing to do what you don't feel like doing. Sometimes you don't feel the feelings of love. Sometimes you don't feel like that person is lovable. So are you able to gather yourself and behave lovingly towards them, and to give them the love that they deserve? Because I'm not going to say the word because, I retract that word. Knowing that that beloved is within them and you, and they are everything that you always saw that they were when you felt those feelings. If you can behave in that way towards another, that forgiving way, that embracing way that you would behave towards a beloved, would that not increase the chances of them remembering who they are and coming forth as that being again? In other words, manifesting that beloved caused by your actions, caused by your words, caused by your lovingness, caused by and brought forth into existence, manifested. In other words, you project that onto the screen of life that is in front of you, and have it reflected back to you. Can you imagine if when you're not being at your best, when you're not being smart or disciplined or sexy or funny or clever or all the things that they fell in love with, right? If you're not being that, but they projected love onto you anyhow, you know, and they said, I know who you are, and I see you for who you are, and I know who you are, and I'm going to love you no matter what, because I said so. So even if you're not being worth it right now, I'm still going to love you with all my heart. That's an action that someone can take. That's a stand that you take. Words are actions. So you could take that stand, you could say those words, you could, whether you felt it or not. I'm not talking about lying about something. I may be talking about what they call fake it till you make it. Okay? I may be talking about putting forth your best effort even when you don't feel like it, and maybe especially when you don't feel like it. That's when loving counts, is when you don't feel it. If loving was just all the really cool feelings and the good feelings and the sexy, juicy feelings that we feel when somebody is being their perfected self, reflecting back to you your perfection, you know, what we call in relationships the perfect stage, if that was all that love is, then get used to being a serial monogamous, because, you know, get used to being single, because that's never going to live out. That is a fantasy. So the name of the show is Love or Fantasy. So if you want fantasy in your life, there's plenty of it to go around. You can have all of that you want. Just get used to being alone. If you want really love in your life, like actual love that will be there for the rest of your life, there's nobody going to do that but you. You have to create it. So when we talk about making love, I believe that's what it means. And when I say I believe, I'm convinced it's true. I'm saying I'm convinced it's true, that making love means you make it happen. You cause it, you create it, you generate it, and causing and generating anything, especially a state of mind, an emotional state, it takes something. It takes, you could say on the not so fun, it takes rigor and discipline, yes, right?
Yes.
Means I said I would do this, that means I have to have some integrity in my life,
yes,
right? I have to know what integrity is, and I have to live from a context of integrity,
yes,
and I have to be able to say, even when I'm angry or upset or totally disappointed, or somebody has broken my heart and not lived up to my hopes and dreams and expectations of them, or what I believe to be true about them, yes, I have to have the integrity and the vision to say to myself, I said I would always love you. That takes courage.
Yes.
And it takes more than belief. It takes more than fantasy. It takes knowing that it's true. And so after the break, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about living your life in such a way that you can go into the world knowing that it's true that you're loved, and knowing that it's true that you have the ability to cause and generate love in any circumstances at all times, regardless of anyone else's behavior. Now, there's people that are hard to love, let's face it.
Yes.
Okay? You know, there's people that you just soon love them from a distance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Give them some space. You know, I love you when you're over there. Right? It's a little more difficult when you're right in my face, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not their shortcoming. You could live your life as if that's not their problem. What if that's just my problem? Mm-hmm. What if my ability to love all people at all times and all circumstances is something that I'm working on, and it may take a lifetime and I may never achieve it, but it's a worthy thing, it's worth working on.
Yes.
It makes me a better man. It makes me a better human being. Just the idea that I might want to work on that is something that most people won't even consider, right? It's like, why should I even try to love somebody who's so unlovable, right? Just easier to go my way and let them go their way. I have no argument with that. Except, what if they were presented in your life, drawn into and attracted by you into your life, and they had a gift for you? And maybe that gift was something that you didn't even know you needed. Maybe the gift was a gift of growth and development that you've been avoiding. And by having this person in your life, maybe, and learning to love them no matter what, maybe you have come across an opportunity that you may never have again if you reject that opportunity. I don't believe that there's anybody that's in our life by an accident. I believe that everybody in every circumstance that we've ever experienced, if you're experiencing it, you did that. If you brought something into your existence, you did that. Consciously or unconsciously. Maybe you didn't want to, maybe you didn't know you were doing that. For most people aren't conscious, but if you're experiencing it, it's there for a reason, and it's there for your growth and development. So that's why we call the company Embrace Growth. If you can embrace it and allow it to be it, them, then you have consciously made a move from the fantasy world into the world of love. Love being an action that you take, not because you want to or you feel like it, always, but because you can. So we'll come back in a few minutes and talk about that some more.
We'll see some commercial and we'll be back with you.
در جستجوی رابطه‌ای پرمعنا و ماندگار باید زنی دوست داشتنی باشید، مردی قهرمان باشید. سمینار شناخت مرد قهرمان و زن دوست داشتنی با دکتر آزیتا سایان، لندن 24 سپتامبر، بون 26 سپتامبر، اورنج کانتی 15 اکتبر و تورنتو 31 اکتبر. برای تجربه‌ای به یاد ماندنی به ما بپیوندید.
Embrace Growth has a new home online where you can easily register for workshops and events, order from the online store, and be part of the worldwide community of Embrace Growth graduates. You'll be able to see Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan in your favorite seminars. Visit us today at embracegrowth.com. A man of character, responsibility, and resourcefulness. Become that man and join us on the journey towards manhood, finding a better person within. Embrace Growth is offering the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery workshop in Hamburg, Toronto, Yerevan, and Los Angeles. Sign up today at embracegrowth.com and see the transformation in your life. The Embrace Growth app is finally here. You start by signing in just as you would online, and from there, you'll see all of your account settings. Once in the app, you'll have access to events and all of Embrace Growth's original content. Registering for workshops and seminars is easier than ever, and tools for managing your profile and options are built right in. Schedule private sessions and connect with the global Embrace Growth community. Download it today on the App Store. A haven for the weary soul, a source of inspiration and community, redesigned to bring you meaningful experiences and unforgettable events. We are a worldwide community of vibrant individuals, displayed in the people who are a part of it, from many nations, backgrounds, and beliefs. Through powerful outreach programs, the struggles of everyday life are confronted and conquered, transforming those who participate into the best versions of themselves. One-on-one sessions are available to keep you headed in the right direction, coupled with the best resources to remind you how to live, whether at home or elsewhere. Programs designed for men, providing the building blocks of maturity, commitment, integrity, and leadership, paving the way for productive and fulfilling manhood. Beyond an understanding of masculine leadership is its application in daily life and development into something truly unique. Exclusive training for women, encouraging growth and empowerment through an acceptance of their true identities, redefining interactions, and changing the viewpoint through which life is seen. Embracing the woman within and accessing facets of your personality hidden beneath the surface. Showing our youth the value of integrity and reliability by creating an indwelling desire to succeed with honor, basing the future on a solid foundation of ideals that will guide them through life, leading by example, and showing others how to clearly convey their thoughts in a compelling way, creating a culture of mature leaders who can help others achieve self-confidence and their goals. Real people and real lives are changed for the better. With every event, more are touched and come to an understanding of their place in this world and their community. Embrace Growth is run by a passionate team and led by the diligence and inspiration of Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan, who consistently teach life lessons based on what works, rather than the passing fads of the times. Welcome to the Embrace Growth app. There's a new way to communicate and join in. Create your free account online and sign into the app. Manage your profile on the go and choose between English or Farsi. Register for events and schedule appointments more easily than ever. Stream audio, video, and download books all over Wi-Fi or cellular. Sign up for workshops and seminars right on your phone, and access your audio and video library in the palm of your hand. Take your favorite lessons from Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan with you. Download it today on the App Store.
Welcome to the all-new EmbraceGrowth.com. You'll have access to all the content you love at the click of a button. Videos of seminars, events, and the ability to sign up for workshops. Direct access to digital downloads right from your mobile devices. Stay in the know and see our latest graduate events. Watch your favorites anytime, anywhere. Visit us today at EmbraceGrowth.com.
or fantasy? Mr. Morgan, we're talking about how to realize that it is love or it is fantasy to a certain point, and it was such a heavy talk and made me very emotional.
Yeah, I got a little emotional about it too, and I believe that when those tears come up and those feelings come up, that's your spirit recognizing truth.
Yes.
It recognizes something that says yes, yes, that, yes, that, you know, and so please don't suppress those things. You, me, others. I mean, we're on TV, so naturally we're not going to like break down and start crying too much. We try to hold it together, but it's important to allow yourself to be moved. Moved means moved by spirit, right? Spirit is that highest expression of our humanity, and allowing it to move through you will often give you goosebumps, chills, tears, laughter, you know. And sometimes we feel something that we call sadness, okay? And the sadness, when you're standing for something, when you're standing for love, when you're standing for the highest and best and honoring the most dignified and honorable part of the human spirit, okay? As expressed through love. And sometimes love goes away. The person goes away. They can't reach that state. You're unable to work things out. There's a lot of times when that feeling of love goes away, or the person goes away. And that sadness that you feel is the old you dying. There's a new you.
Yes, yes.
Being born.
Yes.
Trying to occur, emerging. And so it's normal to feel perplexed about that, to be confused by that, and to feel, to withdraw into yourself at that moment, and to allow this birth to take place, this new you to arise and become recognizable. Yes, sometimes when we first see a plant emerge through, we don't recognize it. Like, what kind of plant is that, right? When something begins to emerge within you, it's just a little seedling, you see, and you have to allow it to grow. A seed, to use that example, a seed dies to its seed self by absorbing or integrating itself with the various elements in the environment. So a seed is put into it's a seed, it's a thing, right? It holds within it all the possibilities of that plant, let's say an apple tree, right? It holds within it all the possibilities of all the future apples and apple trees that may emerge from that tree, from that one seed. It dies to its seed self as it absorbs its environment and surrenders to its environment. It gives up the seed self. Now, I don't think it's crying about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's not a sad event. That is becoming more of what you were always meant to be anyhow. More of what you had the possibility of becoming. And so if we get attached to our old way of being, if we get attached to who we thought we were or we believed we were, if we get attached to what we believed our love is, what we believe love is, or what we think or how it should be, then there's not the surrendering, there's not the integrating of the environment that you are born into to become all that you were meant to be. Now, I hope that's not too complex. It's pretty simple, right?
Yes.
A seed is no longer a seed once it becomes an apple tree.
Yes.
Right? And it has to absorb nutrients and sunshine and all the various things that break it apart. Yeah? So there is a love that is so strong and so great that's always there and always been there, that you could travel to the ends of the world and back and never step outside of it. So you've never been outside of this love. It's never been anywhere other than where you are. And it requires a kind of surrender and a willingness to do whatever it takes to have that love become who you are. The seed becomes, surrenders to something it's never been outside of, so that it becomes what it really is, which is apple tree, apples, leaves, bark, all the things that are there. This is your natural inheritance. This is really what you're here to experience, whether you understand it or not, whether you believe it or not. Even if you don't quite comprehend it, this is your natural inheritance. This is a who you are experience, and who you are is love. And all of that drama, all that we put around love, all of that hanging on, and the drama and the pain and the projecting and the disappointment and all that stuff, it wastes the opportunity. It wastes the moment. It's a wasted opportunity. Now, because it's infinite and it never gives up and it's never going away and you're always inside of it, when I say it, I'm referring to this universal love and compassion that is closer to us than our skin, that is an expression of who we really are. Because you can't escape that anyhow, it's perhaps not speaking correctly to say it's wasted, because how could you waste the infinite? However, you could live an entire lifetime never getting the point of your life. And that would be a waste. That would be a waste of an amazing opportunity to be whole and complete, to have this whole physical experience, you know, with eyes and teeth and ears and feet and sexual stuff, and, you know, all of the wonderful stuff that comes with being alive. Wouldn't it be too bad to waste that for however many years you're here, with a lot of drama that missed the point of your existence? And so I wrote these notes here. I'm just going to read them because I think I said it right. The point is to live as though you know this to be true, without seeking to answer the questions that you're not yet ready to live. The point is to live this love as though you know it's true, without seeking to answer the questions that you're not yet ready to live. And to step confidently into your future, knowing that you're loved, and watch the world unfold in front of you. Watch your life unfold. Step into your life as if you know that you're loved. Whether you have an actual experience of that or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you believe it or not, couldn't you act as if something's true even if you don't believe it?
For a while you can act, but it would be hard. Can you give example?
Yeah. I had an experience of walking across a 400-foot deep canyon. okay,
Yes.
on a rope about that big around, okay,
Okay.
with 2 other ropes to hold on to,
Yes.
which did not offer much security. When that rope began to go like this in the middle of the canyon.
Yes.
And so, even though I didn't have the experience that I was going to live another second, even though I didn't have a feeling like it was true, I acted as if I knew that I was going to reach that other side. I didn't know that. It's not a certainty.
Yes.
I didn't even really believe it.
Yes.
But I acted as if I knew it was true,
Yes.
that I'm reaching the other side and that today is not the day. I'm not going to die walking on this rope, okay?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And that opened up something for me. My steps became more sure. My
yeah.
balance got better.
Yeah.
My heart rate got stabilized. I got focused and the world opened up for me.
Yeah.
The certainty that this was all going to turn out was in my hands.
Now I know what you're saying.
Yeah?
Yes.
So that's a pretty extreme example, yes? It's a pretty extreme example. Most of my examples are kind of extreme. I had a similar experience. I'll share it with you. I lived in New York City for many years, and even though I studied martial arts and all that, I was still quite a novice at this time, and yet I had a basic understanding of Aikido, which is a peaceful martial arts. It's a defensive martial art, and it evolves around the idea that you're responsible for the space that you're in, and that if you're being attacked, my teacher always said, if you have to move your body to defend yourself, if you have to make any gesture or movement to defend yourself, you're late. You're late. Yeah, I had that same look on my face like, I hope he's going to explain this, right? Yeah, this attack was coming long before. If you had been present, you just wouldn't be there when the attack comes.
Oh. Oh.
Right? Or you would have already moved to neutralize it with your energy. You would have already neutralized this attack before it could be launched. Now you're so late that there's literally a fist coming at your face. Right?
Yes.
You have not been paying attention.
Yes.
Right? So we got trained to be aware of our surroundings and to pay attention. So anyhow, all of that was the background to, I took a turn down an alley in New York City that was a shortcut to my house, to where I lived. And I'd done this many times, but this particular time, it was around 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 guys stepped out of the shadows. And one of them had a bottle in his hand of something. I couldn't see the difference, but I watched these 3 shadowy figures walking towards me. And as we got closer, I said, "What are you drinking?" And they said something. I said, "Give me some." And they offered me a drink of their bottle. I don't know what kind of junk it was, but I took a hit off of it and kept walking. I never slowed down my pace. In order to give me that bottle, they had to turn and follow me because I kept walking, just like walking on the rope. I'm going to the other side of the alley, and this is not the day that anything is going to happen. I acted as if I believed that, even though there were circumstances that had me, that I could have believed otherwise. So again, my question, could you, even though you don't know something and don't believe it, could you act as if it's true?
Yes.
Right. That would be courageous.
Yes.
That would take something, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Well, that would take courage,
Yes.
right? You might have fear.
Yes.
What else would that take?
Self-confidence?
Yeah. And where would you get such confidence?
Inside you? I don't know.
How would you find the confidence? What if you knew that you were loved and protected and that all was well?
Yeah, that would help. Yeah.
That would help, right?
Yeah.
That would help. That would help you to give you some experience to look to at least lean on in those moments. So when I say the point is to live as though you know this to be true, without having to seek the answers. Is it true? Am I really loved? You know, does God really love me? Does the universe really love me? I mean, is love really all around me all the time? And you know, can I experience it? And all those questions that automatically are in your head, which, you know, the Buddhists call the monkey mind, right? Does she love me? Do I love you? Am I good enough? I don't love me. Why does how come he loves you? It's easy to love you. Why? Nobody loves me. You know, my mother didn't love me, and you know, blah blah blah, right? Drama, right? All the drama. If you could live with and allow that to be there, that's just monkey mind. You will find that if you just lived as if you know that it's true, that you are loved, and that you are in fact love, you are love, then you could sort of let go of keep trying to look for it and live as if you are a place where love could happen. You are a space or a place that allows love to move through you and to guide you and to direct your actions and thoughts, and have the confidence that even when there's a lot of unloving things going on around you, apparently so, right? And we all have those. Some of us have those a lot.
Yes.
And sometimes you need to change your environment.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people need to move out of a situation, right? That's okay. That would be the loving thing to do. Any questions?
We don't have question here, but then I have a question.
Okay.
How do you always carry on going, believing that you're loved and protected? Because I have this feeling, I go and then I'm very courageous, I take actions, I face the world, but then there are times that I like crash down. So this feeling is not always there. How to carry on with it, how to always feel protected and loved, and create that space that love can happen in you.
That's great. Thanks. I think it's people. Would you say that people are at their best when they're in a situation that pushes them to the edge? I mean, could you see how, particularly true for men?
Yes.
I believe that men need to be challenged, and that when they are given something difficult or frightening, I mean, men consciously and spend even a lot of money and time putting themselves in ridiculously dangerous situations, right?
Yes.
So that they can experience being what? Alive, right? So they can experience the being on the edge.
Yes.
Okay? So I think that it's important, at least from my experience, to move towards those things that challenge you, and to not move away from them. In other words, when you move away from the things that make you fearful, and we talked about this in other shows, there's things you should be afraid of, right? There's obviously, you know, but there are things that you could explore that make you fearful, and by facing those things and moving towards them, knowing that this is the best time to practice being loved. This is the best time to practice. So it's not something that's like, okay, just go out there and know that you're loved and everything will be cool, right?
Yeah.
You will never, you know, if you fall down, get back up. That would be like old technology,
Yes.
right? Get up and dust yourself off, right? That's old technology. That's my father's technology, right?
Yeah.
Snap out of it, right? Pull yourself together. That's good. That old generation gave us some wisdom there,
Yes.
right? But I believe we could take that further by saying, wait a minute, what if you consciously move towards something that is maybe frightening or difficult or potentially painful, and you consciously move towards it for the purpose of having a life experience in which you grow and become stronger. You just take it on. You know, you just take it on. I think most people, they fall down, they get hurt, right? And they go, oh, I need to pull back within myself for a moment, right? Fine, 5 minutes, right? Give yourself a couple of minutes, and then old technology, snap out of it and get back on the horse, so to speak, right? Get you know, dust yourself off, make sure you're not all broken or something, and move back towards that thing. See, mastery is mostly failures. What people call mastery is arrived at through an ongoing, you could say incessant, series of failures and corrections. Not failures and surrenders, right, or giving up or withdraws, failures and corrections. So you fail, you correct, you fail, you correct, you fail, you correct. You do that until you don't fail. Then you find something else to fail at, right? Because every time you climb to the top of a ladder, you're at the bottom of the next ladder. So, you know, there's never living a life of love and integrity and mastery is a mountain without a top. And so you would constantly move towards that thing. And then, you know, it's important to know when to pull back and to fight another day. You know, you don't always need to challenge yourself every single day, all the time, so that you're exhausted. But that would be my answer to that. When you fall down, old technology, make sure you're okay, get up, brush yourself off, then go, okay, what did I do wrong? Like, really ask yourself, what's my part in this, right? And in the case of love and relationships, very often it looks like somebody else did it to me. Somebody hurt me. Somebody broke my heart. Somebody, whatever, right? But we fail. That's a waste of an opportunity. It's a wasted opportunity, because it's an opportunity to go, how did I attract that into my life? Does this look like something else that happened another time? What is it about me? What kind of person would have to, here's a good question. What kind of person would have to go around having failed relationships? One right after the other. You know, people have these series of failed relationships. What kind of person would have to go around doing that? What are you trying, what would they be trying to prove? If they were up to something.
That it's not working?
Well, yeah, they're trying to prove that men are wrong. They're trying to prove that love doesn't work. Trying to prove that they're unworthy of being loved. There's some hidden agenda, right? And so a master looks at that, like, frankly and honestly, and goes, what am I getting out of this, right? What am I getting to avoid the responsibility of my life? What is it? So that would be my answer to that. You know, when people are falling down repeatedly over the same thing, it's like, okay, if it happened to you once, maybe it's an accident of the universe, right? It's a big place out there. If it happened twice, two times, and they kind of look alike, you should be suspicious. If it's happened 3 times, you're doing that. You're doing that. Stop it. Learn the lesson, because the one who doesn't learn the lesson is destined to repeat it. So, listen, that's the show for today. I hope I've helped you to distinguish some differences between love and fantasy, so that you can begin to see that love is something that feels very real and that you can live confidently with. And the fantasy, well, it's good while it lasts. It's always good when it lasts.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan, for the
Do we
great
have any
show.
seminars or workshops or anything that we want to announce to people?
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna let you do that.
We have in the Orange County, 15th of October in 7 Degrees, we are going to have Knowing Lovable Women and Heroic Men. And in San Jose on 22nd of October, we're going to have the same seminar. in London, 24th of September, in Bonn, 26th of September, and in Toronto, 31st of October, we're going to have the same seminar.
So knowing a lovable man,
lovable woman, heroic man.
Yeah, knowing heroic men and lovable women.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can call the office 310-460-2600 to book your place, get your ticket, or if you want to book a session with Mr. Morgan, you can also call the office 310-460-2600. You can also visit embracegrowth.com to buy any book, CD, or DVD by Mr. Morgan or Dr. Sayan, and also you can get your seminar tickets there. Thank you again, Mr. Morgan, for the great show.
It's my pleasure. And thanks for always being here.
Thank you. See you next Wednesday.
Yeah.
در جستجوی رابطه‌ای پرمعنا و ماندگار باید زنی دوست داشتنی باشید، مردی قهرمان باشید. سمینار شناخت مرد قهرمان و زن دوست داشتنی با دکتر آزیتا سایان، لندن 24 سپتامبر، بون 26 سپتامبر، اورنج کانتی 15 اکتبر و تورنتو 31 اکتبر. برای تجربه‌ای به یاد ماندنی به ما بپیوندید.
Embrace Growth has a new home online where you can easily register for workshops and events, order from the online store, and be part of the worldwide community of Embrace Growth graduates. You'll be able to see Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan in your favorite seminars. Visit us today at embracegrowth.com. A man of character, responsibility, and resourcefulness. Become that man and join us on the journey towards manhood, finding a better person within. Embrace Growth is offering the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery Workshop in Hamburg, Toronto, Yerevan, and Los Angeles. Sign up today at embracegrowth.com and see the transformation in your life. The Embrace Growth app is finally here. You start by signing in just as you would online, and from there, you'll see all of your account settings. Once in the app, you'll have access to events and all of Embrace Growth's original content. Registering for workshops and seminars is easier than ever, and tools for managing your profile and options are built right in. Schedule private sessions and connect with the global Embrace Growth community. Download it today on the App Store. A haven for the weary soul, a source of inspiration and community, redesigned to bring you meaningful experiences and unforgettable events. We are a worldwide community of vibrant individuals, displayed in the people who are a part of it, from many nations, backgrounds, and beliefs. Through powerful outreach programs, the struggles of everyday life are confronted and conquered, transforming those who participate into the best versions of themselves. One-on-one sessions are available to keep you headed in the right direction, coupled with the best resources to remind you how to live, whether at home or elsewhere. Programs designed for men, providing the building blocks of maturity, commitment, integrity, and leadership, paving the way for productive and fulfilling manhood. Beyond an understanding of masculine leadership is its application in daily life and development into something truly unique. Exclusive training for women, encouraging growth and empowerment through an acceptance of their true identities, redefining interactions, and changing the viewpoint through which life is seen. Embracing the woman within and accessing facets of your personality hidden beneath the surface. Showing our youth the value of integrity and reliability by creating an indwelling desire to succeed with honor, basing the future on a solid foundation of ideals that will guide them through life, leading by example, and showing others how to clearly convey their thoughts in a compelling way, creating a culture of mature leaders who can help others achieve self-confidence and their goals. Real people and real lives are changed for the better. With every event, more are touched and come to an understanding of their place in this world and their community. Embrace Growth is run by a passionate team and led by the diligence and inspiration of Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan, who consistently teach life lessons based on what works, rather than the passing fads of the times. Welcome to the Embrace Growth app. There's a new way to communicate and join in. Create your free account online and sign into the app. Manage your profile on the go and choose between English or Farsi. Register for events and schedule appointments more easily than ever. Stream audio, video, and download books all over Wi-Fi or cellular. Sign up for workshops and seminars right on your phone, and access your audio and video library in the palm of your hand. Take your favorite lessons from Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan with you. Download it today on the App Store.
Welcome to the all-new EmbraceGrowth.com. You'll have access to all the content you love at the click of a button. Videos of seminars, events, and the ability to sign up for workshops. Direct access to digital downloads right from your mobile devices. Stay in the know and see our latest graduate events. Watch your favorites anytime, anywhere. Visit us today at EmbraceGrowth.com.